And a very warm welcome to this latest GK vlog. And joining me today is Simon Fenn, who leads Pancentric's digital consulting team and the commercial development of their SaaS solutions. Simon, hi, welcome.
Hi there. Hi. Good to see you.
Thanks very much. It's very good to see you as well. And thanks for making time for this vlog, Simon. So we're going to crack straight on to talk about three sort of areas in our 12 to 13 minutes that we've got with you today. So let's get on with that. So Simon, I think arguably for the delegated authority community, you really got noticed this year for winning the MGA Initiative of the Year, the MGA Awards.
Always get that mixed up.
I never do. Mike Keating will be very glad to know. And that was for Go Insure's work with Vessel Protect. But of course, you've been active through Pancentric Digital for a long time in insurance, right? So I'm really interested to hear from you, Simon. What changes have you seen over the years? And also, what keeps you interested, or maybe interested to meek a word for digitalisation in our sector, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, the MGAA award was a great sort of badge of honour for us. I suppose it was at the end of a couple of years of quite hard work for, well, Pancentric and the Go Insure team. We launched the first release of Go Insure, which, you know, is always a thing in its own right, and we've mopped up a number of clients, brought them into the family in that time as well. So it was and I think we'd only joined the MGA for I think we'd only been members two months or something, and we managed to then, secure the award. So it was a really good feel good thing for well, not just, you know, all the team. So that was great. But yeah, obviously we've got a lot still to achieve, you know, we continue building the brand. That's obviously why I'm wearing merchandise today. That's obviously a key thing, but much to achieve. Got obviously further releases of Go Insure, and we're launching a customer portal feature going into 2023. So that's more for direct, you know, well, for brokers who want to provide that, but also direct insurers, smaller insurers. So yeah, plenty to achieve, but yeah, not new to insurance. I think what we've been in insurance systems since probably 2015, building custom solutions for a few clients. But I suppose we go back probably to the 2005 or something, doing wider sort of digital activities for some of the big insurers. You know, I think I think our first big insurer customer was RSA. We worked with Zurich, Allianz, yeah, I think, well, and another one I can't think of off the top of my head. But I think the things that have really, I mean, we got involved in email to brokers. I mean, that was like when we first spoke to RSA, they were sending letters to their brokers. I mean, obviously the broker channels is crucial for all the big insurers, but particularly then. And so, yeah, so it was a complete sort of open, so it was like a broadcast snail mail type thing out there. So we introduced, because we're an email marketing platform as well, which we don't overtly promote now, it's sort of plugged into the back of everything else that we do, but we're still running programs, more automation programs nowadays. But when we first got involved, it was a to broker. It sort of, if you like, gave them more insight. It tracked all the emails. It gave them understanding of which brokers were engaged or not engaged. So that was a big deal. We kind of replicated that for quite a few of the large insurers back in the 2005 up to, you know, sort of 2013. And then video, I mean, you know, who was doing video back in whenever? We introduced broker TV for AXA, and of course that's now a very mainstream thing that everyone's doing. And then we sort of matured into portals, so it was all support portals for brokers, news portals. I mean, I think that's better than it was now. You know, we were sort of doing the first sort of wave of that sort of thing. I think even now there's still that thing about brokers not being, you know, broker comms doesn't really plug into what they do transactionally. So there's nothing, you know, a com to a broker isn't necessarily immediately hooked into what they transacted that day, for example. So, you know, a lot more could be done there still, I'm sure. But I guess the big change, which sort of leans into the, what we're doing nowadays is what's happened in I suppose core admin technology, policy admin technology.
Yeah.
And if you think about the old stuff, it isn't that long ago really, when you pay silly, these contracts still exist, but you'd be paying silly millions, for something that I think in many cases would either be delayed, or it would fail, or it would certainly go over budget, and huge jeopardy for everyone in that process, clients and vendors, no doubt. So that was sort of almost like that is increasingly not the case, I suppose. That's the big change.
The silly millions. Decade. Yeah. So people being much more focused and possibly demanding as well, and a bit more informed about what they're buying, and
I think more informed. And of course, all of the some of the core functions have now been sort of commoditized more, and it's much less. I think eyebrows would be raised if for certainly some maybe more straightforward products. People have got products on their systems now that they can extend to other clients. So some of the core functions have been commoditized. It's faster to get to markets. There's lower config costs, and there's new pricing models. Obviously, the whole SaaS subscription based model, but there's also vendors are willing to do more transactional sort of based. For startups, they might, for the first period, they might be willing to do
the business models have changed as well.
Business models have changed. So, and I think ecosystems are now APIs. It's the name of the game now. So we're both old enough to have lived in a world pre-API, Simon. Which
speak for yourself. I don't know about you. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that, actually, Simon. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your partnership with Digital Bar, which unsurprisingly is, and I quote the website, is all about raising the bar in digital insurance.
Yes. Sorry about that cheesy line.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's fine. It does what it says on the tin, right?
It is true. So
so look, from your experience, both as a contributor to the assessment platform itself, but also as a SaaS provider yourselves, what do you think are the key issues for tech providers? If you just had to talk about three, and thinking about the Digital Bar, the kinds of questions that assessment platform actually asks and provides answers to for the people using that tool, the top three, what is it then if you are wanting to get and keep clients as a tech partner in 2022? What are the three things, Simon, that you would be saying prioritize these three things?
Well, I think we are very quickly. It's in its second year now. Digital Bar. We're just about to launch usability spot check usability scores alongside the capability that scores that exist already. So it's kind of, you might have it, but how good is it? That's the kind of direction of travel. But an interesting fact, which leads to sort of priorities, I suppose. An interesting fact, because we're partnered with an outfit called Altus, who've been doing tracking in this area for a while, digital capability tracking. But there were 4 criteria, providers, as in, the insurers got measured on. There were like 4 areas that they were measured on in terms of capability, and now there are 18 distinct areas of digital capability and customer experience factors that drive the capability rankings. So that gives you, now that's the insurer feeling under pressure there, that there's that downward pressure down into the vendors. And of course, if like we have this, and I'm sure other vendors who might be tuning into this have the same, RFPs are now more and more extensive in terms of what clients are asking for, expecting, and that is a difficult, that can be a challenging thing. But I think a lot of that challenge is absorbed by what we were just mentioning about the ecosystem thing, and I think it is a model now that most clients readily, I think in most cases readily appreciate that one vendor is not going to do the whole job. So I certainly from I'm going to talk from our point of view, but I think it's a common thing, is that again APIs, we're just launching, we've just announced a tie-up with a bunch called Quanti, which offer like personalized pricing. So it's a clever piece of plug-in tech that allows us to dynamically generate more of a personalized price based on, you know, referencing, you know, claims histories and various other things on the fly. So that you know, I don't think clients expect you to deliver it all, but, you know, they want to see some evidence of, you know, some credible partnerships, I think, is the way that we can all run a bit faster and keep up with this downward pressure on, you know, so many more things that one, you know, the clients, you know, customers expect and our clients expect. So that's kind of that's our approach, and I think that would be, you know, the thing that we would recommend.
Really interesting, Simon, thank you for that. And so let's focus in on where Green Kite sort of lives. Really, it inhabits that delegated authority space. So asking a question really about what you think new and scaling MGAs should be looking for in their partners as we sit here at the end, very nearly the end of 22, looking into 2023. And I guess for me, the question I really want to ask is, how far do you think the tech choices that those young and growing firms and their strategy around that, how far do you think that's going to dictate their future success, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, although technology, like we say, has been is more versatile and agile now, and, you know, arguably perhaps it's easier to jump horses but I think, you know, I think a bit of diligence at the beginning of these relationships is a good one. And you know, it's a you know, there's culture and there's function, I suppose. I mean, yes, of course, crawl all over the functional sort of you know, the feature lists and so forth, but you definitely would want to probe beyond there, I think, because it is a journey and it's not just a hard and fast transactional thing with a vendor. I think you do want to, you know, I mean, if there were three things I'd say, sort of vision, is that vendor sort of trying to go places? You know, do their goals complement yours? Is their trajectory going to help take you places that you may want to go in the future? I think if it's a vendor without any kind of vision, you know, a great feature list but no vision, I think that would be, you know, perhaps not a black mark, but maybe something to bear in mind. Business model, again, like we talked about earlier, you know, it is definitely the case that there are vendors out there that will be more modular, happier to, you know, what you don't want to do is pay for huge volumes, a huge range of features, I suppose, that you may not need, you know, soon or maybe never. So, you know, that whole you know, grow as you go sort of thing, you know, something that we talk about at Go Insure, and we're not alone. There are others doing the same thing. I think lastly, probably chemistry, you know, don't just talk to the sales guy, you know, meet the wider team. And, you know, because digitization, although, you know, we're trying to demystify it and make it easier, and like we've said, there's lots of things in place now that take some of the sort of heavy lifting out of the whole process. But I think it is still testing. In fact, we just recently done an MGAA webinar on the sort of process and demystifying the process. And I think although you can, if you like, pull back the curtain and all that, you still have to collaborate with other human beings, and it can be testing, things can go wrong, but I mean, obviously the more prepared you are, the better the chemistry with a partner. I think, you know, you'll be able to fix things together, and there'll be that willingness to do it. So yeah, I mean, just the last one on that is we have actually also just developed like a vendor briefing form, which I think, you know, there's a PDF version, I think, on the MGA site now, and you know, we have an online version if you prefer that. So yeah, I think it's vision, business model, chemistry. I think they're all key things to, and I think I'm pretty sure that Green Kite probably waved that flag too.
Do you know what? I think you're probably right, Simon. But we don't have, fortunately, I don't have any time to talk about Green Kite.
That's fair enough.
Advertising our way of thinking. But sorry, we have run out of time, and we can talk for a lot longer, I know. So thank you again, Simon, for sharing those thoughts. Really, really useful. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll welcome you back on another occasion too.
Yeah, look forward to that. That's nice to speak to you.